Greg Ehrenberg here with another PrizePicks video for Awesemo.com. We're going to be talking about some football futures today, quarterbacks, passing yard stats. If you're new to PrizePicks.com, head on over to the site, use the promo code Awesemo, get up to a $100 bonus on your first deposit. The first player I'm looking at is Matt Ryan for over 4,450.5 passing yards. One thing we have to keep note of any of these passing yard props is that this is going to be a 17-game NFL season, not a 16-game, so one extra game for quarterbacks to work with. And this could cause some issues with durability, but not with Matt Ryan. He's been somebody who's stayed healthy throughout basically his entire career. He's played at least 14 games in every single season of his NFL career, and he's been in the league since 2008. So very durable quarterback. I do feel like we're getting a little bit of a discount here because Julio Jones isn't involved, but ultimately, I don't think that's going to be a massive issue for Matt Ryan. The Falcons don't have a great defense. They're probably going to be playing from behind in a lot of games. It's going to be a lot of passing attempts for Matt Ryan. If you look at his recent passing yard numbers, they've been pretty big. Last year, 4,581 passing yards. The year before, 4,466. The year before that, 4,924. And don't forget also, last year, Julio Jones was hurt for a lot of the season. So I don't think it's going to be a massive issue for Matt Ryan. He also picked up Kyle Pitts in the draft. A lot of weapons for him to throw to. Calvin Ridley also involved. Falcons playing from behind. That should mean a lot of passing attempts for Matt Ryan. The next player I'm looking at is Ryan Fitzpatrick for over 3,900.5 passing yards. It's just really not a very big total for a guy in Ryan Fitzpatrick who does not have much competition at the quarterback position. Washington is really thin on the depth chart. They built their team in previous years as if it was going to be Dwayne Haskins as the quarterback of the future. He's not even on the roster anymore, so they kind of panicked. They end up bringing in Fitzpatrick in free agency. He's a guy who, while he isn't one of the top-tier quarterbacks in the NFL, he's shown the ability to throw a lot of passes in the game and stay upright, not really deal with injuries. We saw in games last year 39 pass attempts against the Jets, 45 against the Seahawks, 47 against the Bills. A guy who's capable of throwing for a lot of volume, and he's going to be the guy who's behind center for a 17-game season. The final player I'm looking at, and the one under that I like on the board here, is going to be Jared Goff for under 4,000.5 passing yards. So Jared Goff went from playing in a really loaded Rams offense to just having no talent around him in Detroit. I think this is going to be a bad team. I think injuries could potentially be an issue here with Jared Goff because his offensive line is bad. He doesn't have good receivers to throw to. So, I mean, Jared Goff, it's hard for me to imagine he's going to find a whole lot of success in Detroit. He only threw for 3,952 yards last year with the Rams. Now you factor in the lesser talent around him, also potential for injury behind that bad offensive line. I think that the number is way too high here. So to recap, these three players that I'm looking at over on PrizePicks.com, it is Matt Ryan over his passing yard total, Ryan Fitzpatrick over for him, and then Jared Goff under for him. Those are all plays that we get over at PrizePicks.com. Sign up using the promo code Awesemo, get up to a $100 bonus on that deposit. But also, there's different ways we could look at these. Over on PrizePicks, there's something called a flex play. You put in all three of these plays. If 2 out of 3 of them hit, it pays out 1.25x your entry. If all 3 hit, you get 2.25x. However, if you're super confident that all 3 of these plays are going to hit, then enter using the power play. If you go 3 for 3, you get 5x your entry, and that is the best way to maximize your odds on winning here.